So it says, when authority says to be quiet, get a loudspeaker. Art must fight for freedom, or the whole world is a prison, and some things are whole only when they shatter. I mean, obviously, that seems to be talking about, you know, what's going on in the world. Okay, so I mean, like everything around this, you know, this is obviously like, I don't know how to describe it. It's really quite gorgeous, though. I mean, like, you know, you're going to you know, some pretty painful memories might be coming up, but like, it's just leading to really gorgeous things. And I feel like, you know, if you are, and it does seem to be like you're actively doing it, right? You're going into these thought processes, right? Going, and I kind of see like this flower here, you know, like this is a mode of thought, right? And all of these little ideas have sprung from this one plant, right? From this one plant. And, you know, I see this pearl of wisdom here too, right? And it's like, it's not all bad, right? I think that we are kind of looking at that too. The wisdom that we gain from these insights. But it's like, you know, we're seeing how these thought processes, the way that we think, right? The way that we handle pressure or fear, like a lot of these fears, a lot of these thought processes, how they stemmed from our mother. And for the first time, I'm noticing like what looks like vampire teeth. Right? Like she's been bitten by a vampire. And maybe you feel like, you know, your mother kind of sucked the lifeblood from you. Maybe your mother made you feel like you sucked the lifeblood from her, right? You know, it's like, whatever it is, it seems like, and, you know, all of us have mom issues. Let's, you know, even those of us who had the best moms, you know, they all, you know, because they are human, they all have faults, right? But this is the end to that, you know, the feeling of being left out in the cold, the feeling of not belonging, right? Because we see the world here and the lovers here. And this lovers, I'm seeing as, you know, this balancing. What's happening is this balancing of the masculine and the feminine, right? The emperor is the father. The mother is the empress, you know? So by dealing with these, you know, we've been dealing with the, you know, there are probably still some issues to be dealt with there. But right, like, you know, I'm seeing these flowers, and I'll try to get back a little bit on track here. But we see purple flowers here too. They're all individual flowers, right? Individual thought, independent thought, right? The mother kind of, you know, wants the smothering, the more, you know, the mother that wants to keep you close to her, right? Wants all your thoughts to be connected to her, right? The father kind of throws you to the wolves, so to speak, but it does create independent thought, right? They both have, you know, as an archetype, they both have their place, right? And so it's that balance that's being, through this process, we're getting this balance, right? See, there is the feminine here, right? All this cluster of thoughts, and then we also have, and of course, it's different colors too, the separate thoughts. So finding this balance. And of course, I can't help but see some counterparts here, but we'll get to that in a second. This at 29, this spiritual awakening, it does break out down to 11. We have karma here, and we see like this burst of light, right? And in the below, we see this burst happening here, and then we see this eclipse happening here. And this is about awakening, right? This is some kind of spiritual awakening. This is some kind of realization that you're having. And it's like this is a 50, right? Which breaks down to a 5. So this is going right along here. But there's this, I hear black hole sun, right? Won't you come and wash away the pain? And I feel like, that this time of kind of, the unknown, this is you, the Queen of Cups. And we see her looking into this cup, right? Divining the future. And she's got her toe reaching out and touching this rock, right? Which keeps her grounded. And that's this 4 of Pentacles here, right? There is a nice, we don't have any, we do have fire, actually, Emperor's fire. So yeah, we have everything showing up here. Very nice. But I see this as your eye, right? Even before this came out beside it, I was like, this is scorpionic energy to me, right? This is this transformation. That what is happening is transformational, and you're kind of at home with it, right? I mean, of course the memories are never easy to go through, but yeah, this is just you here, and you're washing away the pain. You're consciously dealing with these memories, these thought patterns, and it closes it out, right? We have the World here, and there is this certain amount of integration that comes along with the World. And it's like, I just thought about my cat trying to eat this card. You can see, like, and this happened right after I got it. I was so mad. But what can you do? But I was saying, the vampire, right? Eating, and but I feel like you've kind of, you've changed the way that you see that. You're like, you're eating, this is kind of like the crone, eating whatever comes your way, right? Just digesting it and taking it for what it's worth, right? Everything has some value. You're, prima materia, right? And the prime matter, the earth, whatever it is, it's got value, and you're just taking it, you're eating it, devouring it, and processing it. Yeah. It's masterful. The word that came to mind. And we see this with this emperor here too, right? The emperor is a master of his domain, and this is in your water element, right? So you're like, and we see this lake back here, this mountain, right? It's like you're really coming into this great knowledge of your emotions, of and no matter what mountain, what obstacle gets put in front of you, you're just handling it in stride. All right, you've got your 4 Pentacles, and like in the midst of all this change that we're going through, and this these fours here, the stability is really nice to see, really. You know, and we see this circle here, right? The wreath, this completion that's happening. And, you know, with this sitting underneath the lovers and sitting across from the emperor, you know, and the mother showing up here with the Queen of Cups, which is, you know, unconditional love and karma. You know, this is you holding on, right? You holding on to this love, you know, and this is your goal, right? And perhaps this is your goal. You know, if you watched the intro, we need to have a focus. You know, what is your focus? This is a decision that needs to be made. Where are you putting your focus? And, you know, this is, you know, all of this is going to be happening during this period, right? It's going to seem like your dream can't come true, but you're holding on to it. And I love that, right? You know that it's fated. You know that what is, you know, going on in the world isn't as it seems. And, you know, this is possibly, you know, it is touching the Queen of Cups here. You know, a psychic connection. You've probably been trying to keep him out to a certain extent, right? Yeah, that's it. I'm, you know, getting this sense with the Bardo being here that, you know, there's been this separation, right? This limbo where you've both been transforming. But I kind of feel like with this being in the water element, you know, of course, this can just represent your own masculine, but I'm just getting the sense that there is this connection that's, you know, you're feeling it again. It's kind of being revived with this rebirth, and it's because the angels and masters are wanting you to feel this. And then in the future, we have this Page of Wands. And he's, you know, got his, you know, he's yelling out and he's happy. He's got good news, right? This is good news coming your way. This is positive interchanges. And this is also, you know, the Page of Wands, he is, you know, just a positive about life, you know, like I said with this Jeff Koons, you know, he's, you know, I even see these colors are the same, right? The red and the gold, you know, having a lighthearted attitude. But now I just really get this feeling that there's some good news that's going to, and of course, just that lighthearted energy as well, which always follows when we have these like darker periods. The light always follows the dark. Always. All right. Let's get a piece of art for Scorpio. And then we'll get closing guidance, and then we'll take a very quick look at the underlying energies all together. All right. For Scorpio. Get over here. Okay, that came open real quick. To lift. This is called Sarah. And you know, I'm really getting like the incompleteness, right? That kind of orphan feeling. But it's completely surrounded by this greenish energy, right? So this is even like, kind of like this, look at, I mean, like, look at the colors there. Right? And that's this transformation. You know, it's incomplete at this point in time. That's it. You know this. You know that there's still this healing that needs to happen. But it is healing, right? This is heart chakra energy. And we do see like kind of like this form that's happening. This is also the color of alchemy, right? Kind of dissolution and then the re-emergence of the self. Amazing. And, you know, we see these sailing boats here across the way, which is, you know, I get this, there's, well, 3 major ones. That 3 of Wands, right? Your ships coming in.